136 years, 3 chief ministers and 1 unmoved mosque. Long-stalled efforts to relocate the historic mosque situated deep inside the high-security operational area of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport in Kolkata have gained significant momentum. Following a recent change in the West Bengal state government, administrative and aviation authorities have launched a coordinated push to resolve the decade-old deadlock. Hello and welcome. You're watching a deep dive. My name is Vineet Malhotra. In a major development, the Suvendu Adhikari-led West Bengal government is moving ahead with plans to relocate the decade-old mosque located within the operational zone of Kolkata's Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport. The mosque, believed to be over 130 years old and older than airport itself, is situated around 165 meters from the airport's secondary runway. Aviation authorities have for years argued that its location restricts runway expansion, affects flight operations and delays installation of advanced instrument landing systems needed for aircraft landing during heavy winter fog. Officials told that the mosque's proximity had earlier forced authorities to shift the runway touchdown point southward by 88 meters to meet mandatory runway end safety area norms laid down by the DGCA and ICAO. Well, the issue has remained politically sensitive for decades. During land acquisition for airport expansion in the 1950s and 60s, nearby villages were relocated, but residents reportedly agreed to move only after assurances that the historic mosque would remain untouched. Successive governments avoided relocating the structure. In 1995, then Chief Minister Jyoti Basu is said to have rejected a proposal to shift the mosque. Later in 2003, the centre and the then left-front government altered airport expansion plans and extended the runway from the opposite side, leading to additional expenditure and road diversions near Kekhali. Currently, the mosque falls within the airport's high-security airside zone under CISF control. Worshippers are allowed entry only after security screening and are transported through escorted shuttle services inside airport premises. The matter has resurfaced following parliamentary discussions and renewed inspections by the Airports Authority of India and district authorities. Sources told that the airport authorities have proposed building a larger and modern mosque outside airport premises as part of the relocation plan. Representatives of the mosque committee and several Muslim organizations have reportedly participated in discussions over the proposals. Officials maintain that the proposed relocation is aimed at balancing aviation safety, airport expansion needs and religious sensitivities. A joint inspection of the 136-year-old Gauripur Jama Masjid, also locally known as the Bankra Mosque, was conducted by officials from the Airports Authority of India and the North 24 Parganas District Administration. This on-site assessment was immediately followed by a high-level meeting at the District Magistrate's office, where state officials and airport representatives formally presented the urgent operational necessity for relocation to the mosque committee members. The presence of the place of worship, which predates the construction of the modern aviation facility, poses structural and logistical challenges for Kolkata's air traffic management. The modest structure stands approximately 150 meters inside the airport's boundary wall and just 165 meters north of the secondary runway. This violates standard global aviation safety protocols, which strictly dictate that no permanent civilian building should exist within 240 meters of an active runway. Well, because the mosque sits directly within the flight approach path, aviation authorities were previously forced to shift the secondary runway's touchdown point southward by 88 meters, while the remaining 2,832 meters of the runway are perfectly adequate for standard narrow-body aircrafts like Airbus 320 or Boeing 737. The shortened distance prevents the airport from safely operating wide-body international aircraft like the Boeing 787 or Airbus 330 on this trip. Furthermore, the secondary runway lacks the advanced instrument landing systems used on the primary runway to facilitate safe flights during heavily foggy winter mornings, as the equipment cannot be safely installed due to the mosque's proximity. Operating flights when the primary runway is not available on foggy winter days is also a challenge. The 3,633-meter primary runway is equipped with advanced instrument landing systems that allow flight operations in low visibility. But it is not possible to install the equipment on the secondary runway due to the mosque's presence. For over 3 decades, the Civil Aviation Ministry's proposals to relocate the structure to a larger dedicated plot outside the perimeter wall were consistently blocked by the successive state administrations led by Jyoti Basu, Buddhadev Bhattacharya and Mamata Banerjee, citing local religious sensitivities. However, with the political landscape shifting and the new BJP-led government taking charge in West Bengal, the state administration has aligned directly with the centre's infrastructure modernization goals. Currently, Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari has repeatedly red-flagged the security and operational risks associated with the airside structure. With political friction removed, airport officials are highly optimistic about a breakthrough, though the actual relocation process has been mutually deferred until after the upcoming Eid-uz-Zuha festival to ensure absolute community harmony. At present, managing the local devotees requires a highly rigorous security layout. Between 10 and 25 local residents are permitted to offer prayers 5 times a day, with the count rising to nearly 80 during Friday congregation. Devotees must undergo thorough screening by the Central Industrial Security Force at a dedicated gate on Jessore Road before being bussed directly across the high security path to the mosque and back. While mosque committee representatives have expressed deep cooperation, noting they do not wish to hinder the airport's growth or international safety standards, they have requested that authorities formalize the relocation consensus by consulting major national Muslim umbrella organizations, including the Jamaat Ulama-e-Hind and the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. Detailed discussions to finalize an alternative site and construction blueprint are purportedly slated to resume next week. But with BJP now in office at the centre as well as the state, airport officials are hopeful of a positive outcome. Current Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari in recent times flagged concerns about the presence of the mosque in the airport operational area and called for its relocation. Let's talk about this and a lot more. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, is with us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Gautam, how do you think a mosque was allowed in such a sensitive zone, knowing that airports need to be and have to be and should be perhaps one of the most protected areas in any country, city or town?
It was allowed because the minority community were the vote banks for the governments in the last 50 years. Now that they're not, and now that they haven't been too much about the resounding win of the present government, this is quite easily done. I think the first thing they should do is seal the mosque for the time being until the new location is established and the work on the new mosque can begin. And then remove this mosque altogether from this site and call it a day. Because to have encouraged this for 50 years has been a security risk throughout, quite apart from all the things that you've said about expansion, about having proper apparatus for foggy days. All that can go through very fast. The fact that Suvendu Adhikari government has arrived at this within its first month of operation is very encouraging. And I'm sure that the first things first, you should stop this mosque being an active mosque with 5 times prayers and Friday prayers and such like, and it should be closed down until the new arrangements are made and functional. Until then, there are thousands of other mosques all over the city and in the vicinity without a doubt.
Gautam, why do you think there should be a toss-up or a choice between, public security and voter appeasement in 2026?
Well, voter appeasement has been the norm in this country for 6 decades, all over the country. And it is only with the advent, more or less, not even of the Bajpayee government, but with the Modi government and with successive state governments in UP, Assam, now Bengal, Tripura, where you've got people who are strongly committed to a more balanced way of operating, that you're getting some action on all these points. Prior to this, it was a matter of expanding the influence of the minorities, giving them more and more room. I mean, you look at how they have found 30 lakh women receiving uh, a dole in the Bengal government who are Bangladeshis, who are not voters, and God knows if they were receiving the money or people in between in the TMC were pocketing it. This is the kind of horror story. Another place, you find several crores of rupees buried in a field. It's endless. It's one process after another to show the level of corruption of the TMC, and they were only carrying on from where the communists left off under Jyoti Basu and Buddhadev Bhattacharya.
Gautam, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for that perspective and those insights. We'll take a short break now. Be right back.